The sky above New York City turned an eerie shade of purple as the first alien ships broke through the atmosphere. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon in Central Park when the invasion began. Joggers stopped in their tracks, children ceased their play, and even the ever-present honking of car horns fell silent. All eyes turned upward, mouths agape, as the massive vessels descended from the clouds. Sarah Johnson, a young office worker on her lunch break, stood frozen in place, her half-eaten sandwich forgotten in her hand. She watched as the sleek, silvery ships, each easily the size of a football stadium, took up positions over the city's iconic skyline. The sight was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. "This can't be real," she whispered to herself, echoing the thoughts of millions around the world as similar scenes unfolded in every major city across the globe. But it was all too real. Humanity's first contact with alien life had arrived, and it was nothing like the scientists and dreamers had imagined. There were no greetings of peace, no offers of advanced technology or cures for diseases. Instead, the aliens came with fire and destruction. As the world watched in stunned silence, a brilliant beam of energy shot from the largest ship hovering over New York. It struck the Empire State Building, and in a matter of seconds, the iconic structure crumbled to dust. Panic erupted in the streets as people realized this was no peaceful visit. Similar attacks began simultaneously in other cities. The Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Taj Mahal in India, the Sydney Opera House, all reduced to rubble in mere moments. The message was clear. The aliens were here to conquer, not to make friends. World leaders scrambled to respond, but their efforts were futile. Military jets were swatted from the sky like flies, their missiles harmlessly absorbed by the aliens' energy shields. Nuclear weapons were rendered useless, their launch codes mysteriously scrambled. It seemed that humanity's most powerful defenses were little more than toys to these advanced beings. In the halls of the United Nations, frantic diplomats tried to establish communication with the invaders. But their pleas fell on deaf ears, or whatever passed for ears among the alien species. The few grainy images captured of the aliens showed tall, slender beings with iridescent skin and large almond-shaped eyes. They moved with an otherworldly grace that belied their destructive intent. As the first day of the invasion stretched into night, the true horror of the situation began to sink in. This was not some elaborate hoax or misunderstanding. Earth was under attack, and humanity was woefully unprepared. In the White House Situation Room, President Emily Chen paced back and forth, her usually calm demeanor shattered by the weight of the crisis. "How did we miss this?" she demanded of her advisors. "How did they get so close without us detecting them?" General Marcus Blackwood, his uniform crisp despite the chaos, cleared his throat. "Madam President, it appears they possess some form of cloaking technology far beyond our capabilities. They were practically on top of us before our systems detected anything amiss." The President's science advisor, Dr. Rajesh Patel, chimed in. "Their technology it's beyond anything we've ever seen. The energy readings we're getting from their ships, it's like nothing in our scientific understanding." President Chen slammed her fist on the table, causing coffee cups to rattle. "I don't want to hear about what we can't do. I want solutions. How do we fight back?" The room fell silent. The harsh reality was that Earth's mightiest nations, with all their military might and technological advancements, were as helpless as children before the alien onslaught. Meanwhile, in the streets of cities worldwide, chaos reigned. Looting became rampant as people grabbed whatever supplies they could. Roads out of major urban centers were clogged with fleeing vehicles, creating miles-long traffic jams that made easy targets for the alien ships. But amidst the panic and destruction, pockets of resistance began to form. In New York, Sarah Johnson found herself swept up with a group of survivors led by a former Army Ranger named Jack Harper. They took shelter in the subway tunnels, using the underground network to move unseen and gather intelligence on the invaders' movements. Similar groups sprang up around the world. In the mountains of Switzerland, a team of scientists worked feverishly to understand the alien technology from the scant data they could gather. In the Australian outback, indigenous trackers joined forces with special forces units to stage guerrilla attacks on alien ground patrols. These small acts of defiance seemed futile in the face of such overwhelming force, but they kindled a spark of hope in the hearts of the resistors. Humanity, it seemed, would not go quietly into the night. As the first week of the invasion drew to a close, the aliens' strategy became clear. They weren't interested in total annihilation, at least not yet. Instead, they seemed to be herding the human population into concentrated areas. Giant force fields sprang up around major cities, trapping millions inside. Those outside the shields watched in horror as massive ships descended over the trapped cities. From these ships came swarms of smaller craft, like metallic insects. They swept through the streets, abducting people seemingly at random. Young and old, rich and poor. No one was safe from the alien harvest. The purpose of these abductions remained a mystery, fueling wild speculation and increasing the terror of those who remained. Were the captured being used for experiments, slave labor, or something even more sinister? In her underground bunker, President Chen received reports from the few military and intelligence assets still operational. The news was grim. Major governments had fallen or gone silent. The alien control now extended to roughly 70% of the Earth's surface. Resistance was scattered and disorganized, but then a glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected source. A message broadcast on all frequencies, in a language that took linguists only hours to decipher. People of Earth, you are not alone in your struggle. The Galactic Council has heard your plight. Help is coming. Resist. Survive. Your spirit has not gone unnoticed. The message was brief and its origin unknown, but it spread like wildfire through the remnants of human communication networks. It wasn't much, but it was enough to fan the flames of hope. In New York, Sarah and Jack's group heard the message crackle through a salvaged radio. They exchanged looks of cautious optimism. "You think it's real?" Sarah asked. Jack shrugged, his face weary but determined. "Real or not, it doesn't change what we need to do. We keep fighting, we keep surviving, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see these alien bastards get what's coming to them." As the sun set on another day of alien occupation, the people of Earth clung to this tiny shred of hope. The invasion had revealed humanity's vulnerability in the cosmos, but it had also awakened a fierce determination. The war for Earth had only just begun, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy what they were made of. Little did the aliens know they had awakened a sleeping giant. The human spirit, tested but unbroken, was about to demonstrate why it should never be underestimated. 2 months had passed since the aliens first appeared in Earth's skies. The initial shock of the invasion had given way to a grim determination among the survivors. Humanity, it seemed, was not going down without a fight. In the sprawling underground network beneath New York City, Sarah Johnson had transformed from a scared office worker into a key member of the resistance. She sat in a makeshift command center, poring over maps and alien communication intercepts with Jack Harper and other resistance leaders. "They're moving again," Sarah said, pointing to a cluster of red dots on a digital map of Manhattan. "Looks like they're sweeping through the Upper East Side." Jack nodded grimly. "All right, let's move our people out. We can't risk another confrontation yet." As they coordinated the evacuation, a young hacker named Zane burst into the room, his eyes wide with excitement. "You guys need to see this," he said, tapping furiously on his tablet. The room's main screen flickered to life, showing grainy footage of an alien patrol in downtown Los Angeles. As they watched, a group of humans ambushed the aliens, using what looked like modified versions of the aliens' own weapons. "How did they get those?" someone gasped. Zane grinned. "That's not the best part. Watch this." The footage continued, showing one of the humans activating some kind of device. Suddenly, the alien weapons stopped working. In the ensuing confusion, the humans quickly overpowered the aliens. A cheer went up in the command center. For the first time since the invasion began, they had seen the aliens truly vulnerable. "It's happening all over," Zane said, swiping through more footage. "Rio, Moscow, Cape Town resistance cells are figuring out how to hack alien tech. This news spread like wildfire through the human resistance networks. Humanity's greatest strength, its adaptability and ingenuity, was beginning to shine through. Meanwhile, in a hidden facility deep in the Swiss Alps, Dr. Elena Petrova worked tirelessly with a team of international scientists. They had been quietly studying alien technology, piecing together its secrets from salvaged equipment and captured data. "It's the quantum entanglement," Elena muttered, her eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. That's how they're coordinating their attacks so precisely. Her colleague, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, looked up from his own work. "If we could disrupt that entanglement, we could throw their entire command structure into chaos," Elena finished, a spark of hope in her eyes. As the scientists raced to develop new weapons and defenses, other aspects of humanity's resilience began to emerge. In the Australian outback, Aboriginal trackers led by Charlie Cooper had become the bane of alien ground forces. Their intimate knowledge of the land, passed down through generations, allowed them to move unseen and strike with devastating precision. "They may have fancy ships," Charlie told his team as they prepared for another raid. "But they don't know this country like we do. This is our home, and we'll make them regret ever setting foot on it." Across the world, similar scenes played out. In the Amazon rainforest, indigenous tribes used their ancestral knowledge to survive and fight back. In the mountains of Afghanistan, battle-hardened warriors who had resisted empires for centuries now turned their skills against an extraterrestrial foe. The aliens, who had expected an easy conquest, found themselves mired in an increasingly difficult occupation. Their initial superiority was being eroded by 1,000 small acts of resistance and ingenuity. In orbit, aboard the alien command ship, the invasion's leader, Supreme Commander Zixktar, was growing frustrated. "How are these primitives causing us so much trouble?" he demanded of his subordinates. "They were supposed to be easy prey." His second-in-command, Vrelnax, brought up a holographic display of Earth. "It appears we underestimated their adaptability, Supreme Commander. They're learning to use our technology against us, and their varied environments provide them with countless hiding places." Zixktar's iridescent skin pulsed with angry colors. "Increase the harvesting. We need to break their will before they become a real threat." Back on Earth, the alien response to human resistance was swift and brutal. The force fields around captured cities contracted, squeezing the population into ever-tighter spaces. Abductions increased, with alien ships swooping down to snatch people right off the streets. But even this escalation couldn't quell the growing human resistance. If anything, it only fueled their determination. In her underground bunker, President Chen received a secure transmission from the remnants of the Chinese government. "We've managed to reverse engineer some of their communication tech," the Chinese premier told her. "We can coordinate our resistance efforts globally now." For the first time in weeks, President Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Excellent. It's time we showed these invaders what humanity is really capable of." As world leaders began to reconnect and coordinate their efforts, another unexpected development arose. Reports began to trickle in of children exhibiting strange new abilities. Some could sense the aliens' presence before any technology could detect them. Others showed an intuitive understanding of alien tech that surpassed even the brightest adult scientists. Dr. Rajesh Patel, studying these cases, developed a theory. It's possible that exposure to alien energy fields is triggering latent abilities in humans, particularly in the young whose brains are still developing. This discovery added a new dimension to the resistance. Special schools were set up in hidden locations to train these gifted children, hoping to unlock the full potential of these new abilities. In New York, Sarah and Jack's team had a breakthrough of their own. They managed to capture an alien alive, a feat that had seemed impossible just weeks ago. As they studied their prisoner, they made a startling discovery. The alien, when separated from its technology and fellow invaders, was physically weaker than an average human. Its superior technology had masked a fundamental biological vulnerability. "They're not gods," Jack said, staring at the captive alien. "They're just people. Advanced, yes, but people all the same. And people can be beaten." This realization spread through the resistance, boosting morale and changing tactics. Humanity began to focus on separating aliens from their technology, using EMPs and other disruptive measures before engaging in physical combat. As the 6th month of the invasion approached, the tide was slowly beginning to turn. Human resistance cells were now operating on every continent, sharing information and resources through their new, alien tech-enhanced communication networks. In the skies above Earth, the alien fleet was no longer unopposed. Captured and reverse-engineered alien craft, piloted by Earth's best pilots, now engaged in dogfights with the invaders. The battles were still lopsided, but humans were scoring victories, downing alien ships, and proving that the invaders were not invincible. Supreme Commander Zixktar, watching another failed harvesting mission, finally admitted the truth to himself. "We have made a terrible mistake," he murmured. "These humans, they are far more than we thought." As night fell over a battle-scarred but unbroken Earth, millions of humans looked up at the stars with a new perspective. The galaxy had brought them terror and destruction, yes, but it had also awakened something within humanity, a strength they never knew they had, a unity they had never achieved before. The war was far from over, but humanity had found its footing. The aliens had come expecting to find easy prey, but instead they had awakened a sleeping giant. And now that giant was beginning to rise, ready to fight not just for survival, but for its rightful place among the stars. In hidden bases and underground bunkers, in ruined cities and remote wilderness, the people of Earth prepared for the next phase of the war. They had survived the invasion. They had found their hidden strength. Now, it was time to take the fight back to the stars. As the first anniversary of the alien invasion approached, Earth was a changed planet. The initial shock and terror had given way to a fierce determination. Humanity had suffered greatly, but it had also learned, adapted, and grown stronger. Now it was time to strike back. In a secret underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, President Chen stood before a group of world leaders and military commanders. The room buzzed with nervous energy as holographic displays showed the positions of alien forces around the globe. "Today," President Chen began, her voice firm, "we launch Operation Thunderbolt. For too long, we've been on the defensive. It's time to show these invaders that humanity will not go quietly into the night." The plan was audacious. Simultaneous attacks on major alien strongholds across the planet, using reverse-engineered alien technology combined with human ingenuity. The goal was not just to damage the alien forces, but to capture one of their massive motherships. As the leaders dispersed to oversee their parts of the operation, Sarah Johnson and Jack Harper prepared their team in New York. They had been chosen to lead one of the most crucial parts of the mission infiltrating the Alien Command Center in Manhattan. "Remember," Jack told his team as they geared up, "we've trained for this. We know their weaknesses now. Stay focused, stay together, and we'll make it through." Sarah nodded, checking her weapon, a hybrid of human and alien tech that could disrupt the invaders' energy shields. "Let's show them what Earth is made of," she said, her eyes gleaming with determination. Around the world, similar scenes played out as resistance fighters prepared for battle. In London, a team led by former MI6 agent James Blackwood readied to assault the alien headquarters in the ruins of Parliament. In Tokyo, a group of hackers led by Akira Tanaka prepared to launch a cyber attack on the aliens' communication networks. As dawn broke, Operation Thunderbolt began. In New York, Sarah and Jack's team moved silently through the underground tunnels, emerging in the heart of the alien-controlled zone. Above them loomed the twisted wreckage of skyscrapers, now serving as the aliens' base of operations. "EMP charged," Sarah whispered into her comm, detonating in 3, 2, 1. A pulse of energy rippled out, temporarily disabling the aliens' personal shields and communication devices. In that moment of confusion, the human forces struck. Across the globe, similar scenes unfolded. In Rio de Janeiro, resistance fighters led by Maria Santos used the Amazon's dense jungles to launch surprise attacks on alien patrols. In Cairo, a team led by Dr. Amira Hassan deployed a device that jammed the aliens' sensory equipment, leaving them blind and disoriented. The aliens, caught off guard by the coordinated assault, struggled to mount an effective defense. For the first time since their arrival, they found themselves on the back foot, reeling from the humans' onslaught. In orbit, Supreme Commander Zixktar watched in disbelief as reports of attacks flooded in from every corner of the planet. "Impossible," he muttered, his skin flashing colors of distress. How could these primitives organize such an attack? His second-in-command, Vrelnax, looked grim. "It appears we have gravely underestimated them, Supreme Commander. They've adapted to our technology far faster than we anticipated." Back on the ground, the battle raged on. In New York, Sarah and Jack's team fought their way up through the... "We're almost at the control room," Jack shouted over the sound of energy weapons. "Push forward." In London, James Blackwood's team had secured the alien headquarters and was downloading crucial data from their systems. "You're not going to believe this," his tech expert said, eyes wide. "We've got their entire battle plans, including the locations of all their ships in the solar system." Similar successes were reported from around the world. In Beijing, a team led by Colonel Li Wei managed to capture an alien weapons depot, securing a treasure trove of advanced technology. In Sydney, Aboriginal trackers guided special forces to hidden alien outposts, catching the invaders completely by surprise. But the true turning point came in low Earth orbit. A team of astronauts and soldiers, led by Captain Maya Patel, had been secretly training for months for this moment. Using a captured and modified alien shuttle, they approached one of the massive alien motherships. "This is it, people," Maya said to her team as they prepared to board. "Everything we've fought for comes down to this. Let's make Earth proud." The boarding was chaos. Human and alien forces clashed in the narrow corridors of the mothership. But the humans had surprise on their side, and their determination was unmatched. Inch by inch, they fought their way to the bridge. On Earth, Sarah and Jack's team finally breached the alien command center in New York. As alien defenders fell back, Sarah found herself face to face with the alien commander. For a moment, human and alien stared at each other, both realizing the magnitude of this moment. Then Sarah raised her weapon. "Your invasion ends here," she said firmly. The alien, recognizing defeat, slowly lowered its weapon. As news of victories poured in from around the world, President Chen received the transmission she had been waiting for. "Madam President," Captain Maya Patel's voice crackled over the comm, "we've done it! The mothership is ours." A cheer went up in the command center. For the first time in a year, humanity had scored a decisive victory against the invaders. In orbit, Supreme Commander Zixktar watched in horror as one of his motherships went dark, its systems now under human control. "Retreat," he ordered, his voice hollow with disbelief. "All forces, full retreat." As alien ships began to pull away from Earth, humanity celebrated. But their leaders knew this was just the beginning. They had won a battle, but the war was far from over. In New York, Sarah and Jack stood atop the captured alien command center, watching as the sky cleared of enemy ships. "What do you think happens now?" Sarah asked. Jack looked at her, a mix of exhaustion and determination on his face. "Now? Now we take the fight to them. We show the galaxy that humanity isn't just going to survive, we're going to thrive." As the sun set on this historic day, the people of Earth looked to the stars with new eyes. They had faced the greatest threat in their history and emerged stronger. They had discovered strengths they never knew they had, forged alliances that spanned the globe, and taken their first steps into a larger universe. The counterattack had begun, and humanity had no intention of stopping until they had secured their place among the stars. The aliens had come to conquer Earth, but instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant, and now that giant was fully awake and ready to reshape the galaxy. As teams around the world began to study the captured alien technology and plan their next moves, one thing was clear. Humanity's journey to the stars had only just begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again. 3 months had passed since humanity's daring counterattack. The alien invaders had been pushed back, but they weren't defeated. Earth's leaders knew it was only a matter of time before the aliens regrouped and struck again. But this time, humanity had an ace up its sleeve. In a top-secret facility deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Elena Petrova stood before a gathered group of world leaders and military commanders. Behind her loomed a massive device, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. "Ladies and gentlemen," Elena began, her voice steady despite her excitement, "I present to you Project Prometheus, Earth's ultimate defense system." The room fell silent as Elena explained. Project Prometheus was the culmination of years of secret research, combining cutting-edge human technology with reverse-engineered alien systems. It was a planet-wide energy shield, capable of repelling any alien attack. "But that's not all," Elena continued, her eyes gleaming. "When activated, Prometheus can also disrupt alien technology within our solar system. Their ships, their weapons all rendered useless." President Chen stepped forward, her face a mix of hope and concern. "Dr. Petrova, are you certain this will work? The fate of our entire planet could rest on this." Elena nodded confidently. "We've run every possible simulation, Madam President. Prometheus is ready. All we need now is to activate the global network of relay stations." As the leaders dispersed to oversee the activation of Prometheus relay stations in their respective countries, Sarah Johnson and Jack Harper were tasked with a crucial mission. They needed to activate the primary relay station in New York, right under the noses of the remaining alien forces. "Just another day saving the world, huh?" Jack quipped as they geared up. Sarah smiled, checking her weapons. "Let's hope this is the last time we have to." Around the world, similar scenes played out. In Moscow, former Spetsnaz operative Nikolai Volkov led a team to secure the Russian relay station. In New Delhi, tech genius Priya Patel worked furiously to bring India's station online. And in Rio de Janeiro, Maria Santos and her resistance fighters battled alien patrols to reach Brazil's hidden facility. As these teams worked on the ground, Captain Maya Patel and her crew manned the captured alien mothership in orbit. Their job was to run interference, keeping the alien fleet distracted while Prometheus was brought online. "Incoming transmission from Alien Command," Maya's communications officer reported. "They're demanding we surrender the ship." Maya's face hardened. "Tell them to come and take it." The next few hours were chaos. Across the globe, human forces clashed with alien defenders as they raced to activate the Prometheus network. In New York, Sarah and Jack fought their way through alien-infested streets, the towering form of the relay station their constant guide. Almost there, Sarah panted as they rounded the final corner, but their hearts sank at what they saw. A group of aliens had set up a defensive perimeter around the station. Jack grinned, pulling out a device they'd captured in their last mission. Time to use their toys against them. He activated the alien tech, creating a holographic projection of a much larger human force approaching. The aliens, caught off guard, scattered in confusion. Sarah and Jack seized their chance, sprinting for the relay station. Similar scenes of human ingenuity played out worldwide. In Cairo, Dr. Amira Hassan used reprogrammed alien drones to provide cover for her team. In Tokyo, Akira Tanaka's hackers disrupted alien communications, allowing Japanese forces to slip past their defenses. As relay stations came online one by one, the Prometheus network hummed to life. In Antarctica, Elena watched with bated breath as the system powered up. In orbit, Maya and her crew saw the alien fleet approaching, weapons charged. "This is it," she murmured. "Either Prometheus works or—" She didn't need to finish the thought. Everyone knew what was at stake. Back in New York, Sarah's hands flew over the relay station's controls. Come on," she muttered. Suddenly, the station pulsed with energy. A beam shot skyward, connecting with similar beams from around the globe. They converged in the upper atmosphere, spreading out to form a shimmering, translucent shield around the entire planet. For a moment, everything seemed to hold its breath. Then, in orbit, Maya watched in awe as the approaching alien fleet suddenly went dark. Ships drifted aimlessly, their weapons and engines dead. "It worked," she breathed, then louder. "It worked." The cheer that went up in her ship was echoed in command centers and relay stations around the world. Prometheus had worked. Earth was safe. But humanity's ace had an even greater surprise in store. As the alien fleet drifted powerless, the captured mothership Maya commanded suddenly lit up with new information. "Captain," her science officer called, excitement in his voice. "I'm detecting some kind of activation sequence. It's like Prometheus has unlocked something in the ship's systems." On the mothership's main screen, a star map appeared. But it wasn't just any star map. It showed the locations of every alien world, every outpost, every hidden base in the galaxy. "My God," Maya whispered. "We've just been handed the key to the entire alien empire." As this information was relayed to Earth, leaders around the world realized the true magnitude of what they'd accomplished. Not only had they defended their planet, but they'd also gained the means to take the fight to the alien homeworlds. In New York, Sarah and Jack stood on the roof of the relay station, watching the shimmering Prometheus shield in the sky. "It's beautiful," Sarah said softly. Jack nodded, then grinned. "Think the aliens are regretting picking a fight with us yet?" In the Antarctic Command Center, President Chen addressed the world's leaders. "Today we have done more than just defend our planet. We have unveiled our true strength, not just our technology, but our unity, our adaptability, our indomitable spirit. The aliens thought they could conquer us. Instead, they've given us the stars." As news of Prometheus and the alien star map spread, a new sense of purpose filled the people of Earth. They had survived the invasion. They had driven back the aliens. And now, they had the means to explore and expand into the galaxy. Scientists eagerly pored over the newly accessible alien databases, unlocking secrets of faster-than-light travel, energy production, and terraforming. Military strategists began planning expeditions to liberate other worlds that had fallen to the alien empire. And amid it all, a new sense of global unity emerged. The invasion had forced humanity to put aside its old rivalries and work together. Now, with the galaxy opening up before them, that unity would be more important than ever. As the sun set on this historic day, people around the world looked up at the faintly shimmering Prometheus shield with pride and wonder. They had faced extinction and emerged victorious. They had taken their first steps into a larger universe. The aliens had come to conquer Earth. Instead, they had unleashed humanity upon the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same again. 6 months had passed since the activation of Project Prometheus. Earth had been transformed. Cities were being rebuilt. Alien technology was being integrated into daily life, and humanity was preparing for its greatest adventure, yet venturing into the stars. In a gleaming spaceport outside the restored city of Hong Kong, Sarah Johnson stood before the sleek form of the HSS Odyssey, Earth's first faster-than-light-capable warship. A crowd of thousands had gathered to witness the historic launch. "Ready for this?" Jack Harper asked, joining her at the foot of the boarding ramp. Sarah nodded, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Ready to make history. The Odyssey wasn't just a warship. It was the spearhead of Operation Starfall, humanity's daring plan to liberate alien-controlled worlds and establish Earth as a major galactic power. The ship's crew was a mix of soldiers, scientists, and diplomats, representing the best Earth had to offer. As the crew boarded, President Chen addressed the watching world. "Today, we take our first steps into the galactic community, not as victims or survivors, but as liberators and peacekeepers. The aliens sought to conquer us. Instead, they have given us the stars." With a roar of engines reverse-engineered from alien tech, the Odyssey lifted off, quickly becoming a speck in the sky. Humanity held its breath as the ship reached the edge of the solar system. On the bridge of the Odyssey, Captain Maya Patel gave the order they'd all been waiting for. "Engage FTL drive." The stars stretched into lines, and with a flash, the Odyssey was gone, carrying humanity's hopes and dreams into the unknown. Their first destination was Proxima Centauri, where the alien star map had revealed a minor colony. As they dropped out of FTL, the crew got their first look at an alien world. "It's beautiful," Sarah whispered, looking at the blue-green planet on the view screen. But there was no time for sightseeing. Alien ships were already moving to intercept them. "Battle stations," Maya ordered. Let's show them what Earth can do. The battle was short but fierce. The aliens, expecting easy prey, were unprepared for the Odyssey's advanced weapons and tactics. Within hours, the alien fleet was in ruins, and the Odyssey stood victorious. As the dust settled, Sarah led a team to the planet's surface to contact the native population. They found a species of gentle, insectoid beings who had been enslaved by the alien empire for centuries. Using translation technology developed from captured alien databases, Sarah addressed the natives. "We come from Earth. We were invaded like you, but we fought back. Now we're here to help you do the same." The news spread like wildfire across the planet. The natives, inspired by Earth's example, rose up against their weakened oppressors. Within days, the planet was free. As the Odyssey prepared to leave for its next destination, the native leaders presented the crew with a gift, a beautiful crystalline sculpture that seemed to glow from within. "This is our world's heartstone," the native leader explained. "It represents our gratitude and our hope. May it light your way among the stars." Back on Earth, news of the Odyssey's victory was met with jubilation. But it was only the beginning. In the weeks that followed, more ships joined the Odyssey. The HSS Thunderchild, commanded by the stoic Russian Nikolai Volkov, liberated 3 worlds in the Sirius system. The HSS Sakura, under the leadership of the brilliant tactician Yuki Tanaka, outmaneuvered alien fleets in the Betelgeuse sector. Each victory brought new allies, new technologies, and new challenges. Some liberated species eagerly joined Earth's growing alliance. Others, distrustful after centuries of alien rule, needed more convincing. Dr. Elena Petrova, now head of Earth's Xenoscience Division, worked tirelessly to understand and communicate with these new species. "Every world, every species we encounter reshapes our understanding of the universe," she reported to the United Earth Council. "We're not just exploring space, we're expanding the very boundaries of human knowledge." But not all was smooth sailing. In the Vega system, the HSS Wayfinder, commanded by the cunning strategist Zara Khan, encountered a species that had allied themselves with the alien empire. The ensuing battle pushed human forces to their limits, but also showcased their adaptability and determination. After a grueling week-long engagement, the Wayfinder emerged victorious, not just defeating the enemy, but also managing to sway the allied species to Earth's cause. "We didn't just beat them," Zara reported back to Earth. "We showed them a better way. They've agreed to join our alliance." As news of Earth's victories spread across the galaxy, the alien empire found itself on the defensive for the first time in millennia. Worlds that had suffered under their rule for generations began to rebel, inspired by the example of the tiny blue planet that had dared to fight back. 6 months into Operation Starfall, humanity had liberated over 30 star systems and made contact with dozens of new species. Earth's alliance was growing, and with each new member, their strength increased. But the alien empire was far from defeated. As reports came in of the empire massing its forces for a major counterattack, Earth's leaders knew they faced their greatest challenge yet. In a secure bunker beneath Geneva, the United Earth Council convened an emergency session. Military commanders, scientific advisors, and diplomatic representatives from newly allied species all gathered to plan their next move. President Chen, her face showing the strain of sleepless nights, but her eyes still burning with determination, addressed the assembly. "We've come so far, achieved so much, but our greatest test still lies ahead. The Empire is wounded but not defeated. They will throw everything they have at us." General Akira Tanaka, Earth's foremost military strategist, stepped forward. "Then we must be ready. We've learned much from our victories, and more from our new allies. It's time to take the fight to the heart of the Empire itself." A murmur ran through the assembled leaders. It was an audacious plan, but they knew it might be their only chance to end the war decisively. As the council debated strategies and prepared for the coming storm, Sarah and Jack found a quiet moment on a balcony overlooking the rebuilt city of Geneva. "Did you ever imagine we'd end up here?" Sarah asked, gazing at the stars. "When the invasion first began, I thought it was the end of everything." Jack smiled, taking her hand. "Instead, it was just the beginning. We've come so far, Sarah, and we're not stopping now." As they stood there, a streak of light crossed the sky, another Earth ship, heading out too.